1 second. There we go. There we go. Okay. I just wanted to make sure that we get this recorded so that I can put it in the group. So when we talk about landing pages and lead pages, a lot of times what loan officers do is they look at just the what does the page look like? And that's really what the hyper focus is. And okay, now that I got this page, now I'm going to be able to capture all these leads. I'm going to be able to do all of these wonderful things. But really what I want to do is kind of shift focus a little bit. And I want you guys to think about lead capture pages and landing pages. I want you to think about them more along the lines of conversations and points in time. Okay. So in other words, every time you're looking at a page that you're going to put in front of your prospects, put in front of your leads, put in front of potential borrowers, I want you to imagine it as exactly what it is. It's a conversation. Okay. So if you were chatting with somebody about this very topic, what would you say to that person? Right. And when we take that approach, when we shift our thinking from just, okay, this is just a page that I need, and it's just a matter of what are the colors and, you know, what are the pictures and images, that's really all I need to think about. No, it's the message itself. What message are you sending to your prospect, and how are you sending that message? Okay. So when we talk about landing pages, they're just like conversations. It's very rare that they're going to be identical, right? I can have 10 different appointments with 10 different borrowers and have 10 completely different conversations. Okay. So landing pages, we could be driving traffic from Facebook ads. We could be driving traffic from Google, like Google My Business, just as we discussed last week, Google Maps. We could be getting referrals. I mean, there's so many different ways that people can end up on your landing pages. Also, there's different time periods of their sales cycle. They're at different points within their sales cycle. And that's why I call these lead conversion pages as well. Is a landing page isn't necessarily something that I put in front of them before I capture the lead. I also need to have landing pages throughout my sales cycle. How many loan officers have databases filled with email addresses and phone numbers and prospects and even old leads that never converted? And yet when I have meetings with these loan officers, when they're coming to me saying, hey, I need to close more business, I need more money. When we take a look at that database, yeah, I got 800 people, or I got 1,000 people. I once chatted with a loan officer who had over 5,000 people in his database. And I said, well, when was the last time you marketed to that database? And he said, I can't remember. I said, well, would you say it's been more than 6 months? Oh yeah. Has it been, how about a year? Has it been more than, oh, definitely more than a year. That's painful to hear, guys, because that's just money sitting right there. Those are loans, right? We know that statistically speaking, there's a certain percentage of that, depending on which studies you read, but there's a certain percentage. Some people say 3%, some people say as high as 5%. But even if it's just 3%, even if it's just 2%, if I got 5,000 people in a database, and I know that at any given time, 3% of them are either currently in need or about to be in need of a loan officer services, why wouldn't I want to market to that database? And that's why we're going to be looking at landing pages from the angle of lead conversion pages as well. So lead capture and lead conversion, they're very similar, but it's the way that we wield them that's slightly different, who we show them to and at what point in their sales cycle. Okay. So let's adjust our thinking of landing pages as being just something you put in front of Facebook ads. Right? Because even if they find me organically on Google, I still want them to go to my lead capture page, my landing page. Does that make sense? All right. So how do we create these pages? Okay. Let's head on over. I'm going to pause my screen here for just a moment. I'm going to open up some new tabs, and I'm going to go to my dashboard. And again, you can access this exact same landing page and this exact same landing page builder from the Facebook group link I gave at the beginning. All right. So join the Facebook group, go in, download it. You're free to use it as long as you want. Doesn't cost you a penny. We're using the Elementor Pro plugin, and you don't have to pay for it. I already have that licensing, so boom, you can download the full Pro version completely free from my group. All right. So I'm logged into my dashboard. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my left-hand sidebar that says Pages, and I'm going to click Add New. So I'm going to add a new page, right? So at this point, I want you guys to think about what sort of a landing page do you need at this point? Okay, are you creating something for a Facebook ad? Are you creating something for a thank you page? Are you creating something as a warm-up re-engagement page? Okay, because if you have a lot of people in your database, we need to be reaching out to those folks. So we can create pages for any of those intents and purposes. And with WordPress, you can create as many different pages as you want. So for here, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a thank you page. Okay. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do, let me move some of these Zoom pop-ups are blocking my dashboard here. There we go. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to save this. I'm not going to publish it yet. I'm just going to save it as a draft. I'm going to save it as a draft just in case, even though I haven't edited anything yet. Once I give it a title, I save it as a draft just in case anything happens. I have a page timeout or anything along those lines that I don't have to go all the way back to the beginning and set up a new page again. So I just save it, and then I'm going to click to edit with Elementor. Okay. Now what that's going to do is it's going to activate the plugin. I'm going to give it about 10, 15 seconds here for Elementor to open up the landing page creator. And then we'll have our landing page canvas to work with. And for those just joining us, the features that you're seeing here, you can go and download this exact same plugin for WordPress right from the Facebook group. So if you haven't downloaded it already, it's completely free. Go and download it, and you'll have access to the same landing page creator. Okay. Now check this out, guys. I'm presented here with a completely empty page. Now, for a lot of people, they don't like to see empty pages. They're going, I'm not that creative. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to put here. Well, the beautiful thing here is that I can first create with this little plus sign. I can click and I say, okay, I want it to be a single page module. And it gives me this little section right up here at the top to play with the little plus sign. Okay. But what I also have is this little folder. And if I click on this folder, it says add a template, and watch what happens. Check it out, guys. I have all these landing page templates right here that I can already use, that I can just click and load. And I have that design, which I can then edit and make it look exactly the way that I want it. However, if you look here at the top, it says pages, right? To the left of that, I have something called blocks. I call them building blocks. And that's because that's exactly what they are. Now, what blocks are is if I don't necessarily want a completely pre-designed page, but I want pre-designed elements that make it easier for me. Okay. So within this, I have category dropdown. It says, okay, what sort of building blocks would you like? About, call to action, clients, contact, frequently asked questions, features, footer, header, hero, portfolio. I'm going to go for hero real quick. Oh yeah, I like this. Look at all these. Okay. So hero is just how it sounds. It's the thing that you see directly underneath your main header. So you have your little header, which typically contains your logo and maybe even a menu or sub menu. But underneath that, what's the first thing that the visitor to your landing page is going to see? So just because, again, the colors and the imagery might not necessarily be what you're looking for, it doesn't matter. What you're looking at is the layout, because let's say that I choose either this one or this one. Let's go with this one. I'm going to click insert right here at the bottom, and it's going to insert that building block right into my landing page. Okay, great. So it's the layout that attracted me. But 100% of this is all point, click, drag, drop, editable. So I can change everything on here very, very easily by simply clicking on the element. So I clicked where it says free 30-day trial, and you notice on the left-hand sidebar, boom, I got all my editor stuff over here, right? So got all my editor fields. So free 30-day trial. Instead, I might put right. See what I just did there? Now, as I go down here, if this size is too large, I can bring it down here with the size drop down. But I'm going to go ahead and click on style, because this is where I can change things like the color, the typography. So if I want to change the font style and all of that good stuff, the colors and whatnot, I can do all of that. And then I also have my advanced settings. My advanced settings is my margin. Your margin is just what basically tells you how much padding and space you have to work with against the limits of the width of your page and the height of your page. So I can push my margin over from top to bottom and left to right. So if I want to make so that I have more space for my text or less space for my text, kind of bunch it more together, I control all of that through here, right? My margin and padding. So anyways, but most of you aren't going to need to edit any of that. Most of you just change your colors and maybe your font style and maybe the size, and then of course what it says, and that's it. Okay, so you have complete control here. But now what I want to show you is if I'm creating a thank you page, then typically what I want to do is I want to engage my prospect. I want my prospect to be excited about talking to me. I want my prospect to look to feel that I took that extra step compared to what every other loan officer or mortgage or lead capture page has done, right? Because what you'll find, guys, is when you're capturing leads, whether you're using Facebook ads, Google, or some other method, or they're finding you organically, the biggest complaint that we encounter is loan officers coming to us going, help, I'm either buying leads or I'm generating leads, but I'm converting, I'm lucky if I convert 1 out of 100 actually closes, right? And that's just unacceptable. That's just too much activity to have to plod through in order to get to that one closing, right? But what you'll find is oftentimes the problem is not necessarily the lead itself. It's what do we do with that lead? What sort of process do we put them through to get them excited about talking to you as a loan officer? And that's why I like to create lead conversion pages. And that's what I call thank you pages or re-engagement pages that I'll send to my database or that I will send to individuals immediately after they fill out a lead form, and also at various stages while I'm waiting for them to turn into a loan application, right? This is my opportunity to impress them. So what am I going to do to impress them? Well, what I like to do is I like to set up these thank you pages, but I use a combination of 2 technologies. So yeah, I'll use Elementor and this landing page creator, but I'm going to combine it with one other piece of technology that's also free. Give me 1 second here. I'm going to open it up right now. Let's go to it right here. Okay. So how many of you guys are already familiar with this? How many of you guys are already familiar with Loom? Is anybody here already using Loom? Let me know in the chat box, or at least familiar with it. Okay, so Loom, all you got to do, okay, so Carlos is, all right, so I got a couple of people. Loom is a free, and you'll see here, I can activate it right here on my Google Chrome browser. I literally just click this button, it opens this up, and then I click another button for new video, and it opens up my webcam and my microphone, and I can instantly be recording a video. When I'm done, I can edit the video, I can chop it up, I can generate a link, I can embed it, I can do all these different things with the videos, and it will also track and tell me when somebody's actually viewed that video. So what I do is I just record a thank you message, because again, we have to look at what other loan officers are doing and say, what can I do better than them? If you want more leads converting so that you don't have to generate as many to close the amount of loans you want, then we have to say, how do I improve the process? Well, one of the things that we can do way better is make them feel comfortable with who you are and make them see, not just hear a sales pitch going, well, I give better service. Yeah, prove it. Okay. Well, if you go to most mortgage landing pages or lead forms and you fill them out, what happens? A little pop-up appears, says, thank you, we'll be in touch shortly. And that's it. Okay. That's a pretty crappy process. Let's just be honest. That does not make me feel special. That does not make me feel like, wow, this loan officer really cares. But what if, and instead of that process, what if they go to a thank you page and they see a video of me personally thanking them? So guess what I'm going to do with this free Loom software? I'm going to click a button, I'm going to record, and I'm just going to speak. I'm going to speak as if they were sitting across the desk, filling out that document, filling out that 1003 app right there. Say, hey, thank you so much for your request. I just want to make sure that you understand exactly what happens next, so you're not left hanging and wondering, what do I do now? Did he get my information? How long is it going to take to hear back? You know, these are all questions, right? So I'm going to answer them for them right now. Make sense? So do you think that even just that one little thing, that one little change is going to improve the process? So much so. And guys, you can look at all the times I've used Loom. I use Loom for so much. I use it as I create these full lead funnels and whatnot. I've been using Loom for years and years and years. I have over 225 videos sitting right here within my Loom. Okay, because I use it for personal messaging. I've been using it for several years now, and it's completely free. Now, they do have a paid version they'll ask you to upgrade to if you have more than 25 videos saved. But you only need a handful of videos, quite frankly. All right, makes sense. So as you can see here, I can generate a link and just share. I can insert this. There's so much that can be done here once you get that video. So what I want you guys to do is personalize your message. So let's just go ahead and add a component here. Thank you, conversion warm-up page. What is my goal here? Anytime you create a page, you have to ask yourself, what is my goal? Well, my goal is to warm up the prospect, differentiate myself, and inform them / manage expectations. These are my goals with this page. Now, how much? Let's see how much creativity we got here listening in. What are some ideas, guys? Let's pretend this was you. Let's pretend you were creating a thank you page, and as soon as somebody filled out your lead capture form, and now it's your duty, it's your job to create a thank you page that's going to make them more excited about doing business with you. Give me some ideas. What might you either put on the page, or what might you say in the video? What messages or things that concepts you might communicate to them to make them either think, wow, this loan officer is different, or okay, yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing back from you. Do you have any ideas? What are some creative ways that you might do that, or some thoughts you might share? Let's see if anybody's got some ideas. Put that in the chat box if you have any ideas. But while we wait for that, this is my goal. This is my goal for this page. When I record that video is only going to be about 60 seconds long, maybe 90. It doesn't need to be 5 minutes. It doesn't need to be 10 minutes. Okay, so here's some thoughts right here. So Jim says, ask when they can meet to review the process. So that's an idea. So we might go for a physical appointment, right? Or a phone appointment. Exactly. If I can get them on the phone, my chances of converting are much higher, right? So, or a Zoom appointment. There's another idea. So, maybe people are, maybe a little hesitant, of course, to come into the office because of, the state of things right now. So maybe in order to get that touchy feely, instead of just doing a phone, we might even do a Zoom. right? So these are all creative ideas. But regardless of what your idea is, our goal is to warm them up, differentiate, and manage their expectations. Okay, so let's go back to our page now, and let's see what we might add to Elementor here to accomplish that. So let me resume here. So what that means is underneath my main hero image or header image or whatever it is that I would decide to put up here. Now, I don't really need lead capture and whatnot on here because, again, this is a thank you page. So what I might put here is, let me add a new section. Boom, let's create it. So you can see whenever I add a section, I get this little plus shaped icon here. When I click it, it opens up all these little modules that I can add. So over to the left, I see a video module. So I'm just going to click, I'm going to drag it, and I'm just going to drop it. Boom, right here. Boom, creates a video placeholder. So now I can link to a video. I can embed my Loom video. So we just talked about Loom over here. So I would grab my Loom and I can add it right here where I just created a space for my video. Now I can use YouTube, I can use my source, see YouTube, Vimeo, Dailymotion, or self-hosted. So I would do the self-hosted one if I'm using Loom, okay? All right, but I have complete control over if it's autoplay, if it's on a loop. Do I want to brand it? Do I want it to start at a certain segment? I have complete control over that. I got style control. I have full control over this video module. Okay, but I'm not done yet. I know that I need another some additional modules on my thank you page. So I'm going to click this plus icon again, and this time I'm going to do a side by side. Okay, so check that out. So now it's broken up the segment underneath the video. After they view the video, what I want to do here is I want a picture of me, and then I want a personal message from me as well, just in case they don't watch the video. Let's say maybe they're at work, and so they're not going to play the video because they don't want that audio playing while they're at work. You still need to give people the capability to see videos, but also understand that not everyone's going to watch video. So just in case they don't, I'm going to put a text module over here, and I'm going to put an image module over here. So let's click the plus icon, and I got my image module. Drag, drop. See how easy it is to create these pages? So now it's reserved a spot for a picture of me. And over here, I click the plus icon, and I'm going to grab text. Boom. There we go. So my thank you page, I'm almost done with it. And I didn't even need to use one of the pre-built templates, guys. All I did was I used one of the blocks for the top, and then I added a video module, picture module, text module side by side. And now I might create maybe a little button or something underneath here for them to go to my appointment calendar. If you're using Calendly or Book Like a Boss or whatever it is you're using for your Google Calendar or to schedule your days, I maybe put a button down here for them to schedule that appointment because, like Jim said, maybe you want to go for the appointment. Absolutely. So yeah, I'll put that there. But here, I'm going to leave them a message along with my phone number and contact information, my social media profiles. I'm going to put all of that in here. Because again, this is my opportunity to differentiate. So my message needs to be, number one, that, hey, first of all, I'm demonstrating to you that I'm going above and beyond what everybody else did, but also I'm demonstrating how easy it is to reach me. Because communication is a recurring complaint for a lot of people when it comes to their loan officers and their realtors. Well, I sometimes have to call for days and days and leave message after message, and it takes days to hear back. Okay, well, we can't just tell them, well, I give good communication. You don't have that problem with me. No, we got to demonstrate it. So I'm going to put all of that right in here. Okay, so if I click on this image placeholder that Elementor has created for me, I come over here on the left-hand side and I can click to choose my image. And now I can actually upload that image. Okay, I can control the size of that image. Right now it says it's large. This is way too big. I don't want a 1000 plus pixel picture of me staring them in the face. So I might actually come down here and do a custom. I might set my own custom size. I mean, the medium might be okay. It might be a little on the small size. 300 by 300 is just kind of a square shaped small image. I might want something a little bit larger, but not by much. Okay, so that's why I might go with custom. But do you guys see how easy this is to design your thank you page? It's all just drag and drop modules. And you got your left-hand sidebar to walk you through the styles and the content. Just makes it nice and easy. Does that make sense? So do you see the value in adding this extra step with this type of a page? Now, yeah, it's similar. It's similar to blocks with WordPress, but with a whole lot more added on. With Elementor, you have a lot more. You have templates and other designs, and you have, just so you know, guys, if you were to go into, I didn't bring this up earlier because I don't want any distractions for you when you're trying to do this. But just as a heads up, if you were to go into your WordPress dashboard and click on plugins and just do a search for the keyword Elementor, I believe there's something like 40 or 50 Elementor plugins that add additional functionalities and additional templates, additional pages, additional designs, headers, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So the possibilities with this is absolutely insane. So if for whatever reason you're not finding something in here in the blocks or in the templates, if you go into your folder icon here, if you're not finding something that meets your needs within the blocks or even the pages templates, you can always go in and add more of those Elementor plugins to add functionality and additional designs. But if you do so, I do recommend caution. And the caution that I recommend is, generally speaking, you don't want more than 7 to 10 plugins active on your WordPress at any given time. I mean, sometimes there can be a case made for a handful of extras, but I mean, I've seen people with 25, 30 plugins, and then they're coming to me going, man, my website just never works right. It's always so slow to load, and it's this and that, always having problems and errors and glitches. Well, yeah, because each one of those plugins is by a different programmer. And you're asking all of these programs to play nicely together that have been programmed by different developers. So some of them are crashing with each other. Some of them are at different stages of development. There's just more things for your host to have to load. It's potentially more things to go wrong. So plugins are nice. Plugins are awesome, but use them sparingly. Don't just think every single problem can be solved with a plugin, because then you end up with way too many and actually creates more problems. Okay. So just a word of caution there that yes, you can always go in and look for ones, but only actually activate the ones that really bring something good to the table that you absolutely must have. Okay. All right. So again, we got tons and tons of templates already in here that you can just choose if you just want to hammer something out there really quickly. You got your blocks, as we discussed, and this right here will keep you nice and busy. Okay, this will keep you nice and engaged and busy. But let's go back to our Google document. Let's talk about the process again. So talk to me, guys, in the chat box. Tell me, what are some other stages in your sales funnel, in the sales process, that you think might be a good opportunity to put a lead conversion page in front of a prospect? So let's pretend you got your database. You got leads at different stages. Some leads are older leads. Some leads are brand new leads. What are some stages in the home buying process or in the refinance process that you can think of that might be a good opportunity for you to put a conversion page in front of people that can wow them, that can boost their loyalty, that can make them choose you over the competition? Let's get some creative juices going. I got some things in mind, but I'm trying to put the ball in your court to force some creative thinking here. Okay, let's see. Okay, we got to get some answers coming over here. Okay, so what about me page? Okay, absolutely. So approval. Okay, yeah, ask them to refer friends. Yeah, you know what? That's a really good one, Jim, because think of it this way. Not only is it an opportunity to get referrals, but it's also an opportunity to get reviews. Remember last week we were talking about Google. We talked about GMB. We know you need reviews. I don't care if you have Google or not, even if you're just using Yelp or something else, you need those reviews. So putting a page in front of them can definitely help. So here's one. Fannie Mae loan limits. Yeah, Fannie Mae loan limits have gone up. Let's talk about it. Yeah. What's that mean to you? So this would be a great one for the people in your database that haven't turned into full loan applications yet. Hey guys, there's been some changes with loan approvals, with loan guidelines with Fannie Mae, with conventional loans, since you have inquired about getting a loan, about buying a home, or about roofing, et cetera, et cetera. Here's what these changes mean to you. 30 days after application, you could send them to a page that gives them a choice to indicate I haven't found a house yet, or I'm thinking about buying in 3 to 6 months. So I love this one. So thank you, Mike. That's a fantastic one, and good to see you here, Mike. That's a fantastic idea, and in fact, that builds on an old strategy that is hands down one of the most effective at filtering and segmenting a database or a list. And that is just sending a simple message to them saying, have you found what you're looking for? Yes or no. Give them a button to click. Boom. You would be shocked. You would be shocked when you distill things to so simple, something so simple. All they got to do is click yes or no. You're gonna get a lot of people actually going, okay, click. And I had a conversation with a loan officer I was recommending that to, and he just couldn't fathom why I thought that was a good idea. He said, well, what about the people that say no? He's like, it's almost like I'm telling them to ask me to not send them any more emails. And I said, well, isn't that a good thing? Do you want to waste your time with people who have no interest or no need? We don't build the database so we can look at and admire the number of people we have in our database. We build our database because we're trying to fill it with the people that actually need a loan or will soon need one. And even just because somebody's saying no, they're not going to do it in the next 6 months, it doesn't mean I'm never going to market to them again. It's just I know not to focus on them for now, right? So I celebrate when I'm able to identify somebody as not needing my services. I don't find that depressing. I find that exciting because like, oh, good. Now I know. Now I know who to focus my efforts on. And the people that actually say yes, that's fantastic. Okay, congratulations. Now you can buy more home. Now you can afford more home. Absolutely. There's another. I mean, these are all good ideas, guys. The lowest interest rates have been in history. Take advantage of this opportunity. So yeah, that actually brings up an interesting one. What you can do in that instance is if you have rate updates that you can send them to for the people that are interested in it, right? Now, we don't necessarily always want to make everything all about rate, but we also have to understand and embrace the fact that for the people that don't know how to shop, don't know how to differentiate between one loan officer and another, a lot of them will still shop based off of rate, right? So if there's been something big on the horizon, or even if we know that rates are about to go way up, if there's going to be big movement, isn't it kind of our responsibility to make the individuals in our database aware of something that's coming up, whether they're about to take a big downward turn or a big upward turn? So both can be an opportunity. So yeah, these are all fantastic ideas, right? So you have many, many different opportunities for warm-up pages and lead conversion pages. The most important thing, guys, is to just get them out there. With WordPress, you can create as many pages as you want. But what I don't want happening on your behalf is I don't want you having to be reactive. Don't be reactive. Don't wait until you have a lead that's in the scenario going, man, I bet you I could convert this person. You know, if I just really had something that I could wow them and really differentiate myself right now, because I can tell they're really serious right now. And then rush out and then create a page. No, no, no. Look at the scenarios ahead of time. Look at the opportunities ahead of time and just go in, and you can see how quickly we can deploy a page and use them as templates and just send them out when appropriate. Right? That's how we use WordPress and your Elementor landing page creator. Right? So there are these wonderful, wonderful messages. Let's look at some other opportunities here. So obviously, you know, rate updates, asking for referrals, asking for reviews. Here's what happens next. How about this one, guys? How about somebody that you just took an application on? Documents needed, the why, and explained. Think about that. So you get a new lead coming in, and you actually send them to a page that actually breaks down, here's how to read your documents. Here's how to make sense of your documents. I know there's a lot of jargon and legalese on these applications and on these pages. And sometimes, you know, it can be a little ambiguous. So what I'm going to do here in this quick video, which boom, use Loom again, guys, right? Go ahead and use it. You can store 25 videos in there. So why not create one? Just take 2 or 3 minutes to explain. Here's everything you need to know before you fill out your pages, before you fill out your documents. How about with stipulations? Once somebody starts that process with you, you want to wow them, you want to impress the heck out of them, so you actually get referrals. Okay, let's create another one that explains all the stipulations. How many times have you answered the same question over and over and over and over again about bank statements? Well, is it okay if I just give you this page or that page? Or do you need to see this? Do you need to see that? Right? That's frustrating. But so what if we had a video that already answered all of that and we sent it to them? Okay, so Jimmy is saying, Chad, what advice would you give if the company won't allow the loan officer to have their own? Okay, so I'm assuming you're saying your own landing page or your own website. Mike says, okay, well, you might want to switch companies. So you'd be surprised, Jimmy, we do run into that fairly often. Typically, I run into that when I'm talking to employees of banks. The banks don't want to give any marketing freedom whatsoever to their loan officers, but sometimes even non-banks, you will run into companies that are very, very restrictive. I get asked this question at least once or twice a week. And in instances like that, yeah, sometimes you just have to bite the bullet and go elsewhere if they're just expecting you to be 100% reliant on them. But other times, I've had some success, not always, but some success when the loan officer approaches the company, just showing them the actual pages and just saying, hey, you know, look at what I'm actually doing here. This isn't, you know, me taking out some magazine ad or some, you know, running Google ads or whatnot. These are just, you know, pages that don't talk about or promise any interest rates, but rather they talk about the loan process, you know, and they're being sent primarily to people and leads I've already captured, and they're in my database. And once they've seen that explained and it's been cleared up in their minds, sometimes the companies will go ahead and give them approval, because a lot of times those rules exist because they're paranoid and petrified that, you know, loan officers are going to be just going out there, you know, quoting rates and doing things that are making promises that can land them in hot water. But when you show them that this is just something that's, you know, database centric, and it's really only meant, you know, to manage expectations of the loan process, oftentimes they will say yes, but not always. Other times I've had loan officers, now I can't be the one to say, yes, go do this. But I've had loan officers come to me and say, hey, can you create some unbranded stealthy pages for me? And by putting them on a URL that has nothing to do with that company and they're completely unbranded, they go out there and they just do their own thing. You know, is it risky? Well, yeah, there's a certain level of risk in there, but you know, that's up to each individual how much risk they can bear. So, you know, it's just limited by your imagination pretty much, and you know, your I guess say tolerance of risk. Okay. So, but yeah, I do encounter that every single week. I have at least one or two people asking. So, all right. So a stipulations page, facts page. How about this one? How to pick a real estate agent. I like to send this one to people who are still several months out, but I know they're good leads. So a lot of times the tendency is just to ignore the people that are 4, 5, 6 months out going, yeah, I need my business now. Well, that 4, 5, 6 months will be here way before you know it. And if you do a good job warming them up, you become the obvious choice. So you'll be really glad you did this. So when I know they haven't picked their realtor yet, I know they're not ending up in my as a full-blown application for at least several months minimum. But I'll still warm them up by sending them to a page kind of like this. So I'm going to help them pick a realtor, right? In fact, I'm probably even going to recommend, here's an idea for a page. Not only do you do a video just explaining, here's how to identify a good real estate agent versus a bad real estate agent, you know, one that doesn't necessarily have your best interest at heart. But here's a realtor that I recommend if you're in this area, or a realtor in that area, or so forth. I might even put my recommendations on the page. It's up to you. I've seen people do that. I've seen other people say, hey, if you want a recommendation, let's talk about it. You know, either way can be beneficial. It's entirely up to you, you know, which approach you want to take. But this is a great way to reach out to those people and not bore them by talking about loans before they're ready to talk about loans. If they haven't even picked out their realtor yet and haven't even found their home yet, they're maybe not quite ready to talk about, you know, interest rates and loans just yet. But they're still at that home shopping phase. So how to get the best deal on a new home. So I made this recommendation to a loan officer a few months ago who she had asked me, she's like, well, I'm not a realtor. I don't even really know. I don't know the answer to that question. I said, well, you know, there's two things you can do. Then you can either, you know, Google it and look at some of the recommendations, or the better way is to get your recommended realtor, the realtor that you're really trying to form a close bond and relationship with, and interview them on the video, feature them. Yeah. Yeah. Open up your webcam or set up a camera. Got 2 seats in front of it. Now you ask the realtor, hey, I brought a professional in to talk to you about some negotiation tactics or you know, methods you can use to secure the best deal on your new home. So this is such and such agent from such and such office, and you know, we work together in this capacity or that capacity. Boom, boom, boom. Just hammered out a couple minutes. Now you brought your realtor in on the action, so you're bringing value to the table with the realtor as well. But you see how all of these little things, none of these are groundbreaking, you know, oh, hey, I've never thought of that before strategies. You know, these are all relatively simple stuff that you can hammer out inside of 15, 20 minutes for most of them. But each time you are demonstrating that you freaking care. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. We've all heard that saying for years, right? But it's so true. Demonstrate it. This is how you convert leads. In all of these pages, you don't even need a new design for each page. I don't want you guys racking your brain going, well, I've already used this design, so next time I need to use that. No, no, no. Once you go in here and you get your template set up, just clone it for every single page. You can literally clone your page. Watch this. Look at this. See how I click down here next to the green publish button? See this little arrow shaped icon? Click on it, save as a template. Once I'm done with this, if I save it as a template, anytime I need another new page, instead of coming in and designing a whole new page, all I do is I come down here. Let's pretend that I click to create a whole new page. I click the little folder icon. And up here at the top, right now we're on blocks. We also got pages. We got my templates. If I click on my templates, now that page that I saved as a template will be available. And I can clone it with a click of a button as many times as I want. It's a universal global template across my WordPress. So now all you do is you just change. You leave all the main elements alone. You just change, boop, come out here and I swap out the video with a new link. And I might swap out some of my text here and maybe update my message because I'm at a different stage. I'm engaging them at a different stage in the sales cycle. So my message will be changed for each one, but I don't have to re-upload my picture and get it the right size and re-upload my header and re-upload my buttons. I don't have to do any of that. All I do is change my text, upload the new video, save, deploy, publish, I'm done. Make sense? Ryan, no, this is pro. This is pro. But I give away the pro version of Elementor. You can download from the Facebook group. So yeah, you don't need to go out. You don't need to rush out and buy it to get access to these features. I give it away in the Facebook group. For anybody that doesn't have the link, actually, I'm not going to make you wait till the end. Let me just give it to you guys now. Give me 1 second here, and I'll scroll down and I'm going to post it in the chat so everybody has the link. Here's the Facebook group. So it should be shown on the screen now. I'm going to put the link. Give me just a second, make that available to everyone and enter and boom. Okay, so now anybody who needs to go to the group, if you haven't joined the Facebook group yet, you can do so now in the chat box. There should be a clickable link for you. All right. So yeah, just follow the directions. Once you get to the group and you'll see, I believe I have it pinned as an announcement. And that will show you how to download Elementor Pro. Okay. So does this make sense? Does everybody see the value in these types of lead conversion pages? So here's another one. Here's kind of a unique one. Make one for realtors. Boom, 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 boom. You want to be different? You really want to stand out? Make a handful of pages for realtors. Because here's the thing, guys. I oftentimes get loan officers saying, well, you know, how do I really find new realtors? You know, they're always so busy, blah, blah, blah. Well, how many times have you been in the middle of working with a borrower who already has a realtor, which means most likely it's a realtor that you're not working with yet, that you're not getting referrals from yet. Now is your opportunity. See, we have to start thinking of everybody as being our prospects. It's not just the borrowers that are your customers. Realtors are also your customers because they're your potential referral sources. So treat them like they're your clients as well. You need to impress them. You need to convince, excuse me, you need to convince them that you're different, that doing business with you is a better experience than continuing to work with the loan officer they're working with now, right? Now, I can try to sell them on that idea, or I can just skip the whole sales process and go straight to demonstrating and freaking prove it with a page like this. So one of the things that I had my loan officers do was I had them create a page that was just for realtors. And basically what it did was anytime that somebody came to us already working with a realtor, I don't care on what side of the transaction, if they already had a realtor, then we already had marketing ready to go to that realtor to make them feel special too. So now they get sent to a page and they get a welcome message from me, the loan officer, saying, hey, I understand that sometimes when you're working with an unfamiliar loan officer in this type of a process, there may be a little bit of anxiety, hoping and wondering, okay, is this guy going to do a good job? When he says that the rate's locked, is it actually locked? Are we going to get to the closing table and there's going to be a bunch of fires and things falling apart? It's like, I understand the anxiety and the concern. This is your paycheck. This is what you do. So let me put your mind at ease by telling you a little bit about how I do business and some of the processes that I prepared, so that you'll always be kept in the loop throughout this process, so that you don't have to keep reaching out to me and calling me asking for updates and wondering if things have changed or why things have changed, et cetera, et cetera. In short, I'm making this video so you can feel comfortable that we're here taking good care of our mutual client. Now, do you think a message like that's appreciated? Do you think a message like that makes you stand out? Do you think a message like that differentiates? Absolutely. And the beautiful thing is, guys, it costs you $0 and cents to just open up Loom and record a video straight from the heart. A lot of people like to have scripts in front of them, but as you notice, like even calls like this, I have zero script. I have no slides. I log in and I talk. It's the same way I did my loans. It's the same way I ran my business. Is I just speak from the heart, from experience, because I know that there's this love-hate relationship between loan officers and realtors, and I know that it's very tempting to just be like, well, yeah, all realtors suck, blah blah blah. Well, no, there's sucky loan officers out there too, and there's really good, just like there's good loan officers and crappy loan officers. You have good realtors and crappy realtors, and the good ones, the ones that I want to do business with, chances are they have banged their head against the wall plenty of times dealing with some of the crappy loan officers too. So knowing this, it's really easy for me to just crack open a video and just start talking about it. Well, here's why you don't have to worry about that. Here, I'm just here to manage your expectations and help you feel better about doing business with a currently unknown entity. And my hope, Mr. or Mrs. Real Estate Agent, is that this is going to be a wonderful experience for you. And at the end, we can chat further about how we can potentially have many more of these very pleasant and smooth processes together. So I'm also going to plant the seed that, hey, maybe we can work together, because I want more referrals. And if I give them a pleasant and better, superior experience with whoever it is they're working with now, at least I've opened that door a little bit and got my foot in the door with a little page like that. Okay. So go and clone your page, make a new one, fire up a new video through Loom, customize your text message a little bit. Now you got yourself a realtor warm-up page and manage expectations page. Right? So look at all these. We got all these ideas right here. How about this one? There's so many topics you can cover. So many topics that can be covered here. Debt consolidation. So let's say you got refi leads coming in, and some debt consolidation leads that never really converted, never even closed. What about a case study? What about a case study? What about, how many of you guys have saved, absolutely freaking saved one of your clients before? I mean, where the client loves you at the end of it, at the closing. Man, you saved me so much money, blah, blah, blah. Or maybe it was one of those trash loans, and what we call trash loans, the ones where everything goes wrong, that has been passed around and nobody could do it, but you're the one that rescued them somehow. How many times have you done that? Why not do a case study and send it early in the process? Celebrate the victories. How about here's what my clients say. Now, one of the best pages I'd ever seen was what we like to call a wall of credibility. And this was a loan officer who he had created just an entire page. For the past 5 years, he had taken a picture of every single closing right as it closed. He had this big poster board. Is laminated onto like this cardboard with his company name and logo on it, and the customers would hold it up in one hand and keys to the house in the other hand, and he would stand in the middle with his arms around both the husband and wife or the home buyers. And he had been doing this at every single closing for the past 5 years, and he had just created this page that was just filled with hundreds and hundreds of these photos. And I call it a wall of credibility, because all these people are smiling and whatnot. And then he would link to the reviews that those same people had given him either on Yelp, Google, or Facebook. Now imagine doing a page like that. That was such a good idea. I was, man, I wish I could take credit for that, but no, it wasn't my idea. I saw somebody do it and I was like, that is a beautiful idea. I love it. Okay, so if you got a lot of good reviews, how about consolidating all those reviews? Let's say you got a bunch of Yelp, a bunch of Google, and it's split out over all these different sites. There's a lot of different directories out there. So maybe you have some on Zillow too, if you're a Zillow lender. Why not take all of them? Even if you're just taking screenshots of them, or even just a video of you opening up and scrolling through. It's like, hey, I understand you're very busy and you might not have time to go and check me out and make sure that I do a good job for my customers. So you know what I've done? I've already opened up the tabs. I got my Google reviews, I got my Facebook reviews, I got my Yelp reviews, and I got my Trulia reviews all right here. And I'm just going to scroll through them real quick so you can see, oh, look, I average 5 stars on Google. Here's my 139 reviews. Oh, look, here I am on Yelp. Let's just scroll through some of them. Oh, look what this person says. Oh, let me highlight that one. Look at this. I average 5 stars here as well. Okay, you saved them a lot of work. It's right there on video. They can see for themselves. And by the way, I put a link directly beneath this video if you want to go and confirm and verify that I didn't use some digital fakery or magic to just make it look like I got these reviews. You can go and check them out. The link's below. But I just wanted you to know that we set the bar high. We set the bar high for customer satisfaction here, and I have many years of happy clients that are willing to tell you about their experience on Google, on Facebook, on Yelp, on Trulia, Zillow, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? So think of all the different ways that you can really build up your credibility. Now, how's that for a thank you page? So I gave you one idea at the beginning of this call for a thank you page, but now imagine a wall of credibility style thank you page. Hey, thank you so much for filling in your request. Now, I understand it could be a bit intimidating because we haven't even met yet. So you might be wondering, how do I know this is a good loan officer? How can I trust what you say? How do I know you'll do a good job? How do I know things aren't going to fall apart prior to closing? Should I choose you as my loan officer? Well, I'm going to answer those questions right now by pointing to my actual live reviews that you can go and confirm and verify for yourself. I got the links directly below, but if you just keep watching for the next 90 seconds, I'm just going to scroll through here so that you can see what my customers are saying about me, just in case you're in a bit of a hurry. Is that better than a little pop-up that says, hey, thank you, we've received your request, we'll be in touch shortly? Now you've just blown all the other folks out of the water because you just set the bar way higher. So Jim is asking, did you create that page on your blog or website and then send the realtor the link? Yeah. Basically, I just set it as a landing page connected to my primary URL. The reason I connected it to my primary URL is because oftentimes when you send these types of pages out, the people are going to get curious and go ahead and go to your homepage anyways, right? So that way they're going to see more, about the rest of what I do. So to me, that's the perfect place to send them. Now, I understand some of you guys don't necessarily have control over your URL if your company's kind of forcing you to use a company website. So you might need to do something like this somewhere else. How about Google provides your own mini site within your Google My Business. Remember, you can activate a mini web page there. So you could emulate, if for whatever reason your company is blocking you out from doing what we're talking about here today, you can still emulate it on a free Google site. Is it as good? No, I would definitely prefer to be able to deploy an actual landing page connected to my own URL, but it's way, way better than doing nothing. And you're still getting them to your Google owned asset, which is nice from an SEO standpoint too, right? The more engagement taking place on your Google page, the better. What if we are so new that that doesn't exist? So, Laura, I'm assuming you're meaning that you don't have like the reviews and things. You know, that's a fantastic question. I'm glad you asked that question because that's definitely something that I struggled with when I was new. Because I had seen when I was brand new, I had seen that some of the loan officers in the office had these. They didn't do them on websites back then. They did them on these books, like these albums that they had sitting in the waiting room to the office. And I was so envious. I was so jealous because they had these pages filled with pages and pages and pages and pages of the actual documents that they would put in front of them at the closing table, and they would rank everything on a scale of 1 to 10 and then write about their experience and blah, blah, blah. And then they would put those testimonials right there on the coffee table in the waiting room. And I didn't have one. I didn't have any closings yet. And even after I had a few, it's like, okay, I got a handful. That's not that impressive. So what I did to help boost my numbers when I was new was that I was marketing the heck out of realtors to really get going. So I got a bunch of testimonials from realtors that had been on the other side of the transaction with me. Anytime I closed or even just worked with a realtor, I would get testimonials from them as well to help pump my reviews up, my testimonials up. And I also went to my title company, my appraiser, anybody. I mean, even after my very first closing, I was already collecting those. It's like, okay, you know, we worked together in that you did an appraisal for me. You know, would you mind leaving me a review? Because I'm you know, living and dying based off of word of mouth, so I need as many reviews as I can get. Okay, so now I go to my title company. Now I go to my real estate agent. So instead of just getting one testimonial, I was able to get 3 or 4 from every transaction to help boost those numbers up quickly because I was so new. So that's one thing that you can do to get those numbers going very quickly. And if it's even pre-closing, if you don't have any closings yet, then at that point you do have to get a little more creative as far as you can't do a wall of credibility yet. What you can do is a page where you talk more and focus more about your processes and demonstrate. Because if you can't point to past performance, then demonstration becomes that much more important. So I wouldn't do a wall of credibility yet. I would start working on collecting enough to where I can. But let's really flesh out what processes and what things are you going to do different to make sure that you manage their expectations and even exceed them. That's what I would do if I was brand new. Here are the processes that I put into place to make sure you don't have to chase me down when you have questions. Here's videos to prove it. Here's videos right on this page covering mortgage terms, documents. What are normal closing costs? What do these words mean? Are zero down home loans real? The truth about this, truth about that. Boom. Answer those questions. Preempt them. People love it when you demonstrate that you understand them well enough that you answer the questions that they haven't even asked you yet. That makes me feel like, okay, you understand me. Okay, you've been doing this long enough to where I'm not going to question your professionalism because you anticipated this. You see how that can make a world of difference? You know, we all don't have the exact same tools to work with because we're all at different stages in our mortgage career, right? So if you're a new loan officer, then focus on the here and now, what you're doing here and now, make things better for them. If you've been in the business for a while and you have a lot of reviews, leverage those reviews, point to those reviews, right? Makes a difference. it's always demonstrate, not selling. Let's demonstrate. Let's show. Make sense? All right. So I mean, we got a ton of ideas here. Look at all these ideas for lead conversion pages. And again, I don't care if they're all the same design. Just clone them, guys. What I care about is that you take the action, just go and do it, and then sprinkle them throughout your sales process. You know, I was having a great conversation with a loan officer earlier this week. Me and Allison were we were talking about the buy referral only days. For those of you that remember buyreferralonly.com, and we just love the way that they would break up the sales cycle into what's called a pre, during, and after segments. Okay, so the pre is what can you do before you have the sale or the application. During is what do you do while the person is in process. You haven't closed yet, but you're in, you know, they're a full-blown application, you know, you're working with them, but you haven't quite closed it yet. And then the after module is, of course, what can you do after the sale is closed. And what we need to do is when you look at your landing pages and your lead conversion pages, start looking at your sales cycle as an actual cycle, as a funnel, as a process. And when you kind of break it up into these categories, it makes it easier to manage. It's like, what kind of pages can I put out there before I've brought them on as an application, before they're my customer? These are the pages that are going to help me get more customers. During, okay, once they're that full application and working with me, what can I do? And what sort of pages can I put out there to wow and impress the heck out of them to where it turns into, I'm almost guaranteed to always close each loan with referrals. So we're duplicating our effort there. And then after it closes, what are the pages that I can put out there and the videos I can put out there that are, again, going to focus on getting me more referrals and also making sure that they remain my client, that when they need something done again, they freaking remember me. How many times have we worked practical miracles for our customers only to find out just a couple of years later, oh yeah, I closed with someone else. It's like, really? Doesn't that almost feel like a stab in the back after you worked so hard and saved a deal for them that they otherwise would not have gotten? Well, we can't put the blame on them. We can only blame ourselves because it's our responsibility to make sure they don't forget us. And if we are slacking on this part of the module, then that's our fault. We got to own that loss. So what pages can I put out there to make sure that doesn't happen? Right? And that's the shift in thinking that I wanted to talk to you guys about today. So that was fresh in my mind just based on some of the programs I've been working on this week, or strategies I've been working on this week for folks. So I hope that you guys find that beneficial. Let me scroll through here, make sure I got to the questions. Okay. Absolutely. Okay, fantastic. So again, for Elementor, let me go ahead and I'm just going to put this link in the chat box as well. So you should already have the Facebook group link in your chat, but I'm also, for those of you that, there's always a handful of folks in these sessions that say, all this sounds great. I don't have time to do it myself. So for those that want to talk to us about our services, either myself or Allison, and we could talk to you about done for you, hands off, if you need this sort of thing done for you, or need pages created or a strategy or whatever your marketing challenge is, that's the link. You can request a chat with us, a strategy session. We'll be more than happy to talk to you. Before I wrap up, are there any questions on the processes, on the types of pages, on WordPress, on Elementor, on Loom? You know, by the way, guys, for Loom, if you don't have Loom yet, again, it's free. It's free. It's crazy not to have it because it's so useful. Just go to Google and just type out Loom Chrome extension. LOOM, Loom Chrome extension. It's free. click a button, you're recording, it generates a link for you, or you can embed your videos onto a landing page, onto a website. You can link to it in an email. You can edit your videos. If you don't want to be in your videos, you can even just do screen. It allows you to just do screen recordings. Some of mine, as you see here, these are actually just screen recordings. I don't even appear in them. So I would definitely recommend that you put those to use. Okay. It's completely free. Might as well. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Great. Okay, folks. That's all I got for you today. And again, I did indeed record. So I will place this in the Facebook group for those of you that maybe logged in late or you missed it. And I'm just going to put the Facebook group right here at the top of the screen again. Make sure this is the new group, not the old group. This is the new group. It's the loan officer website group, where our primary focus is talking about landing pages, lead capture, websites, conversion, all that fun stuff. Anything that has to do with your web presence. And that's where I will post the replay. And that's also where you can go and download your plugins for Elementor Pro, so you have your landing page creator. Okay. All right. Thanks a lot for joining us this afternoon, folks, and happy Friday to all of you. And I look forward to chatting with you guys next time. So yes, we will do another session next Friday as well. We tend to do these Fridays at 1 o'clock Central, seems to be the most convenient time for everyone. Okay. And as far as when the replay will be put in the group, I will try to get it in there this afternoon. I do have a couple sessions on my calendar already, though. So no guarantee as to how quickly, but I will try to get it on there. If not by this evening, then no later than tomorrow morning. All right. Okay. Make it a great day, guys. Bye now.